I'm back! What's good, guys? What is up? It's Prajna, back with another Division 2 build video. I know, it's been forever since I dropped a video. I'm so sorry, guys. Life has been calling and I just needed a short break. But in today's video, I want to showcase another powerful setup for you guys. This is an LMG setup, so you can use whatever LMG you prefer. But this is a really good setup for players who don't like playing too aggressive. You know, you can play this build at a safe distance and still see great damage. And this is because the Pestilence actually deals out over 100% damage over time. So you don't have to worry about damage drop-offs. It's also an ideal PvE setup for solo players, but it'll work well in groups. So guys, real quick, before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to the channel members. You guys are amazing, especially if you've been a member since day one. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support from you guys. It really means the world to me. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Shall we? So today we're looking at an LMG build centered around the Pestilence. A very simple and practical setup. You know, other than the Liquid Engineer backpack, you can honestly farm all the pieces in Countdown. Plus, the Pestilence is one of the most commonly dropped exotics, so it's super easy to get if anyone here still doesn't have one. It's definitely a must-have in my opinion, but what makes it stand out from the other LMGs is its weapon talent. With the Pesties weapon talent, you're basically getting a damage over time buff that deals out 100% weapon damage, which is pretty crazy. And since it's separate from your weapon damage, like the actual damage that you're doing with your weapon, it's not affected by the damage drop-off. Because with the damage drop-off, you know, you're naturally going to lose damage the further you are from any given target, right? So every weapon has a bullet drop. But with the Pestilence, the damage that's coming from the Plague of the Outcast debuff is damage over time. So you're essentially dealing out 2 sets of damage, if you think about it. So this just makes the Pestilence super viable for clearing higher difficulty activities. Because, like I mentioned earlier, you can basically just sit back at a safe distance from the NPCs and take full advantage of the Pestilence debuff. So with the Plague of the Outcast talent, it deals 100% damage over time, which means you're not just doing damage while you're shooting, but you also get to watch enemies just absolutely get melted after you're done shooting. And this is due to the second part of the talent. So whenever an enemy gets eliminated, 100% of those stacks that you've built up get transferred to a nearby enemy. So you can see here that max stacks are 50, so you'll be dealing out the max number of damage at full stacks, right? Now, I did mention that this is a very basic setup, so no exotic pieces, just high-end brands. So for the mask, a Walker Harris piece with weapon damage and crits. Then for the vest, a Langmo piece with armor and crits, and for the talent, Obliterate. And with Obliterate, you're getting a 20% weapon damage increase. So critical hits will increase your total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds. And this stacks up to 20 times, okay? Now for the holster, a second piece of Langmo with armor, weapon handling, and critical hit chance. Then for the knee pads, a third piece of Langmo with armor and crits. And for the gloves, the named Contractor's gloves. The Contractor's gloves are great for LMG builds. Not only will it grant you a 10% LMG damage increase from the set bonus, but it also comes with an 8% damage to armor attribute bonus. And it's pretty easy to get. You know, you can also farm these gloves in Countdown if that's your go-to spot for farming. Just set targeted loot to gloves and you're good to go. Now for the backpack, I'm using the named Liquid Engineer bag. This backpack can actually drop in the Dark Zone, but if you avoid the DZ, that's understandable. But you can also get this from caches named Conflict or DZ caches, if I'm not mistaken. So don't bother trying to farm this in Countdown or Open World because it's Dark Zone exclusive, but what you can do is save up some Countdown credits, right? Save up some Countdown credits and purchase some named item caches at the Countdown vendor just outside the base of Op. Because you may just get lucky and get it to drop for you because it's in the named cache loot pool. But you also have some alternatives that you can go with if you don't have the Liquid Engineer backpack. Like for one, you can equip another Walker Harris bag to get that 5% damage to armor bonus from the set. Or if you want more critical hit damage or chance, then you can go with Cheska or Grupo and roll the normal Bloodsucker talent. The normal Bloodsucker gives you 10% bonus armor per enemy that you eliminate versus 12% on the Liquid Engineer backpack, so that's a 2% difference. That 2% difference may not seem like a big deal, but it can stack up to 10 times, so it will add up. So you'll be getting like an extra like 20% or something like that. For the stats, in case anyone's curious, 52% critical hit chance and just a little over 100% critical hit damage. The damage on the Pestilence is nice, so don't sweat it if your crits are on the lower side. Now for the skills, I'm running the Fortified Smart Cover variant with the Reviver Hive. Smart Cover is great with LMGs since you can't use a shield, but it's optional, so if it doesn't really suit your playstyle, then you can go with something else. But the Reviver Hive is great to run if you're farming solo, especially if you're farming on Heroic, so I highly recommend running the Reviver Hive if you're running content on Heroic. But it's a good skill to use whether you're with a group or solo anyway, right? Now for the seasonal modifiers, I'm running Zealot. Zealot is really good, but it's super risky because of the EMP explosion that gets triggered upon reaching 0 stacks, but it can actually be countered, and I'll explain how in just a moment. So Zealot basically gives you weapon damage and damage reduction upon activation. So you'll get 20 stacks, and after 10 seconds, you will begin to lose 1 stack per second. But eliminating NPCs will restore stacks. Now, once you reach 0 stacks, a damaging EMP explosion will trigger at your location, leaving you at 1 HP. This explosion is unavoidable, but here's how it can be countered. So for each enemy hit by the explosion, you'll recover armor and health according to the stats displayed as per the table below. So this chart at the bottom will display the stat increases that you'll be getting. Level 5 is the max level, so I'm getting the maximum amount. So here's the thing. You're going to need to be mindful when using Zealot because of the explosion. And you can actually monitor the stacks of Zealot on your UI HUD. So once you notice it's getting close to 0, just find cover for a brief moment so you don't risk going down from NPCs. Because once the explosion hits you, you're going to be left with literally 1% health. And NPCs basically have aimbot, so yeah. Now you can also go with the advanced material modifier instead. This modifier basically gives you unlimited special weapon ammo as well as a rate of fire and weapon damage increase, which gets multiplied against named enemies. So this is a really good modifier, like it goes ham with the gunner specialization since you get a powerful minigun, and it's hella fun to use. Now for the passive modifiers, I'm using Stepping Stone. This modifier grants hollow point ammo when you eliminate an assault enemy with a headshot, and hollow point ammo will not only cause bleed to a target, but it will amplify your weapon damage by 20% as well. Now for the second passive modifier, I'm running Compromised. So while you're in cover, your headshot damage against snipers will increase by 100%. But I'm mainly using it for this second part, so if you hit a sniper while they're in cover, they will be forced out. This is super helpful because sometimes NPC snipers will sit in cover for the longest. And for the third modifier, I went with Rupert's Tear. So when you break any plate of a tank's armor, all other plates are broken. So this is great on heavy chungas, especially the white tusk chungas in legendary activities because they have a ton of armor plates. But Batter Up is also a great one, you know, if you're dealing with grenadiers, Batter Up will destroy any grenade that's within 5 meters of you. So yeah, that'll do it. If you made it to the end of the video, you're amazing. You guys are amazing. It's just good to know that I'm getting a lot of support from you guys because there are just so many people out here with bad intentions. You know, you have people that want to sit there and envy you, right? Hate this, that, and the third. So you just need to have great discernment. And like I've said before, everyone is facing challenges. No one on this planet isn't facing any challenges. So let's just please be kind to one another because we don't know what other people are going through, you know? Life's too short to waste it on hating others and creating drama. That's not why we're here. But anyway, this is Prajna. Thank you so much for watching, and if you guys have any questions, you already know the vibes, leave them down in the comment section. And to my channel members, I love you guys so much. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and see you in the next video. Bye! Mwah.